Welcome back, everyone, to the Elevate Through Real Estate channel. So this is the last video in our series with Zach, the wicked smart coach. So today we're going to talk about how do you find all of these leads for seller financing. I mean, you guys have been through the whole process that we've taken you through. Creative finance, you've seen what these deals can turn into. Yep. Now it's like, all right, I'm ready to start. What's the next step? Well, you got to find leads, right? You don't 100%. Have leads, you won't have sales, right? So I'm going to pass it off to Zach. Like, Zach, what are some of the best ways that we can integrate and find these leads and find these amazing deals, even if whether it be rural and in the city, what have you, so we can get these deals going?
Yeah, it's a great question, right? Because it's the beginning of every single business. Like when a brand new real estate investor comes into our community or joins our program, it's the first thing is always, how do I get them to be able to best communicate with sellers? So working on scripts, and then creating the skill set and also the behavior of making phone calls, because that is the whole communication process. And then once we can get the communication process going well, now we can start adding additional marketing and additional funnels to this. But so when I first start with anybody when it comes to lead gen, I go ahead and I have them start with expired listings. Expired listings, first and foremost, because they're interested in selling and they have been on the traditional market and now they haven't been able to get the answer that they wanted. So the easier people to communicate with, in my opinion, because most are looking for alternative options. And in some cases even given up. So now you call them, you almost could be a savior sometimes. And we did go over the expired script in one of the other videos, so you can actually pull that with the commonly asked questions and start communicating with expired listings. So that's been a great tool. And we have some resources. I've been able to get expired listings from a company called My Plus Leads for many years now, about 8 years. So we'll go ahead and we can include a link where they can get a 14-day free trial on that as well. My Plus Leads, and they'll also provide you the other lead sources that we have on here too, or a couple of the other ones, which are for sale by owners and for rent by owners. So for sale by owners are also one of the first lead sources we involve with a new person. That's because they're already actively marketing their property, which means they're going to answer the phone. So you'll get a much higher conversion rate, at least from getting somebody live with a for sale by owner, because they're actively prospecting. Now with the for sale by owners, though, it tends to take them seasoning or time before they're open to a creative strategy, unless you're catching them right at the beginning, or meaning right where they need a challenge solved, like they're in an urgent situation, like their motivation is high. Because for sale by owners are for sale by owners because they think that they can sell on their own. So getting past that, and we all know that a for sale by owner, as soon as they hit the market, they believe that they have a lot of activity because their neighbors are calling, the agents are calling, and investors are calling. So they believe that everybody wants to buy their house until everything kind of goes through the wayside, and then eventually now they're sitting there after 30 days, 60 days, and they're trying to figure out whether they're going to go one of two routes, which is whether they're going to list with an agent or they're going to sell to an investor. That's typically what happens, and most of the time. And then we move to the next lead source, would be your for rent by owners. Now we like these, especially in today's market, because the tired landlord is becoming tired more often. I think if you actually research a tired landlord on a list, it's 15 years, I think is where they pull their data from. But that didn't, kind of take into account COVID. There's a lot of people that suffered great losses during COVID and will never ever want to be a landlord again. So that's why we approach those for rent by owners, because they're actively looking to fill their property. And if we can step in and solve their problem with one of our techniques, well, now we can put them in a position where they're not dealing with a renter anymore, but they're actually dealing with a professional investor, and then we handle everything from there. So that's another awesome lead source. And then I just have niche lists on there, because once you start to bring in enough leads to start hitting some of your beginning goals through those first 3 lead sources, well, now you're going to go ahead and start to bring in probably direct mail to specific niche lists, because really this is a numbers game. We have to get so many what we would call leads or prospects to the table and make enough appointments where you're actually seeing prospects and then making enough offers where then you're going to get a percentage of those will then be properties you'll buy, and then a percentage of those will be properties you'll sell. So it's just becoming a numbers game. So usually then we have to increase our numbers in order to hit some of our higher goals. And then also one that you can include kind of across the board, whether it's the beginning or the end, would be referrals. Getting in touch with your local realtors, mortgage lenders, investors of other niches. That's why if you're watching this and you're already currently prospecting, like you're a wholesaler, you're a fix and flipper, you already are active investor, or you're a real estate agent or a broker, you're already doing a lot of the hard work that it takes to get somebody lifted off the ground as a brand new investor because you're already actively prospecting. Now it's just go watch those other videos or start utilizing our resources here that will provide you. And now actually implementing this into your current business so that way you can start offering other options and start putting these into play. So that's where you'll find your leads. That's the top of funnel. And as they come through the funnel, now we're just focusing on conversion, which is improving our scripts, improving our communication, and then our negotiations. And we're doing all that through, I would utilize a CRM, so that way we can marinate these leads over time. You can kind of set it and forget it and just focus on the current hot prospects and let your automation do the rest, and then just continue to fill that funnel and let it spit out deals.
That's
simple as that.
It's amazing. And I mean, and if you're an entrepreneur that has connections, you know what I mean, that like knows property owners, like this is a pretty easy conversation to have, man. Just be like, I'll buy your property. You open to X, Y, and Z? And they're like, oh yeah? Tell me more, you know? Again, that approach and that language that Zach was talking about in the scripts, which was a couple videos ago, so you guys gotta check that out. But these are incredible ways to lead generate. And as you guys can see, those paydays at the end, those 3 paydays, not just one, are gonna change everything.
100%.
Right? If done correctly. So totally worth doing. And Zach, thank you so much for putting this together, man. Like finding these deals. I mean, this is where the key.
You're going to
Willy
love
Wonka
this.
golden tickets.
Just love it.
Where they are.
All right, good. And we'll make sure you guys get all the links for where to find expireds, FSBOs, for rent by owners, and databases to get your niche lists. And then it's on you to go ahead and find your local market specialists and go ahead and get some referrals. So you got all the tools now, right? You know what creative financing is. You know exactly each and every one of those niches. You know how to exit the property. Now it's about really diving deep. Now you've gone through this masterclass, investing yourself, and now starting to implement the systems and tools so that we can start producing real estate deals. And I know we'll include those as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you in this masterclass.
Oh man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, Zach. You are the man. We're gonna be doing so many more deals, guys, especially in this market. Like, holy crap, the amount of opportunity that's coming our way between commercial and residential, like, it's limitless. So we're excited. We hope you guys do lots of deals. Reach out to us if you want to partner with us to help walk you through these deals, because they, as you can see, we get a little complicated, but very well worth it at the end of the day, right? So stay tuned. We'll always have some more for you. And thank you so much for following this masterclass, Elevate Through Real Estate. Check it out.